Well, I mean, I'm in frame pretty well, actually. What? No, I'm in frame pretty well. I just can't get a good view on the beer. I can tilt it down a little, but then my head gets cut off. I know, streaming is so hard. What was that? Oh, well, let me open my Twitch in case anyone joins us and wants to chat. All right, awesome. Okay. Hello, Twitch. My name is Hoppy Hippo, and this is Beer Splaining. Today we are going back to the old school, the origination of beer splaining. It was a Sunday. I was bored, and I have a lot of beer, so I did a blind beer tasting and recorded it. That's it. That's your origination of beer splaining, and then eventually Beer Snob Esquire joined me, and the rest is history that no one's going to read, but it's still history nonetheless. So today we are doing a blind beer tasting, as I mentioned. You can see here, I have the gorgeous beer splaining paddle. The beer splaining paddle has 4 beers on it. There you go, good view on these. This is 4 Hazy double IPAs. I do not know which one of these is which. I do know the breweries. So today's brewery options are Humble Sea. What was that?
You should mention the sun might be old too.
Actually, none of them are old. Humble Sea, which is located in Santa Cruz, though we picked this one up at their Pacifica location, which is right next to like the world's most expensive Taco Bell. It's a sweet location, actually. We picked this one up yesterday. It's pretty fresh. Seven Stills, located in San Francisco. They have 2 locations. This one was picked up from their primary location where their distillery and their brewery is. I want to say we picked it up maybe a month and a half ago. Probably less than 2 months. There's a Fieldwork here, located in Berkeley with 7 satellite spots. We picked ours up in their newest location, which is in San Leandro, about a month ago. And then the last one is, what was the last one? Oh, Local Brewing, also located in San Francisco. I want to say we picked it up on our last trip to Local, but it might have been 2 trips ago. So it could be anywhere from 60 to 30 days, probably about 60 days ago then. So none of them are past their generalized freshness date, which is typically for an IPA, you want to drink it within about 90 days is probably, 30 days is the best, but 90 days is typically, after about 90 days, you really start to lose stuff. But 30 days is typically your ideal goal. So here on Beer Splaining, we use the Brewer's Friend Beer Party tasting sheet most of the time. Check it out. It looks like that. You can get this online. It rates beers up to 100 points, 10 points for appearance, 10 points for smell, 30 points for taste, 20 points for aftertaste, and 30 points for drinkability. So the way I like to do it, I'm typically Beer Snob as well if he was joining us. He is not, because he was at Aftershock all weekend. So I believe he's probably making sure his wife still likes him. So I tend to do appearance first for all of them, and then smell for all of them before I start the tastings. The tastings, the taste, aftertaste, drinkability go one at a time. So let's talk about appearance on these 4 beers. As you can see, they're different. Let me pull it back a little bit. So you can see the 2 on my left are much lighter in color, with this one on the left being the most, for lack of a better term, orange juicy. It's very opaque. You cannot see through it really at all, which is typically the way I like my hazies to look. I like my hazies to look very milky. I don't necessarily want to be able to see through them. I want to look at them and think orange juice. This one's actually fairly close, but as you can see, there's a little bit of transparency in it. Not a lot. You can't really see the old beard / whatever I have going on through it. But it's definitely opaque. It's definitely a hazy. These are all 4 definitely hazies. Then we move on to this one. This has got a different color. This is the other color of IPAs. You've kind of got an orange color, and you've got this, it's kind of like a brownish orange. I don't know if that's exactly right. It's more like a darker orange, though. These two look incredibly similar. You can see this in the image. They look very, very similar. So from an appearance perspective, I'm going to rate this one 10 because it's the way I like them to look the best. And then, just because you can get a little light through them all, you can kind of see through them all a little bit, I think we're going to end up going here. We're going to go 10 because this is exactly what I want it to look like. Not everyone agrees with me. Other people are going to rate their Hazy IPA images or pictures different than me, for sure. I'm going to go 10 here. And to be honest, I think I'm going to go... I think I'm going to go with an 8 here because it's the most see-through. I think I'm going to go with a 9 for these two because they're a different color than I prefer, but they're both very opaque, which is nice, which is the preference for me. I don't want any see-through on my Hazies. It's just a me thing. So I'm going to go 10, 8, 9, 9. So I'm going to put that in here. 10, 8, 9, 9. And we will know which one of these are at the end. So we'll tell you. All right, so next up we're talking about smell. When you look for a smell on a Hazy IPA, it depends on the person. I like to smell citrusy stuff. I want to smell grapefruits, cantaloupes, like fruity stuff. Typically, your typical is just more of a citrusy smell. It's more of a generic citrusy smell. These are all doubles, so I do expect to smell some alcohol. So let's start with this one. Watching people smell on stream is fun. Oh, it's good. It smells just like an orange juice, like a light sort of citrusy smell coming through. Oh, it's nice. It's really, really nice. Yeah, that's really nice. Let's move on to this one. Oh, this smell is entirely different than the last one. The last one was more citrusy, more orange juicy. This is way more stone fruit in the smell. And the smell itself is stronger than the smell in the first one. That's better. I think a stronger smell is better. Oh yeah, that's good. That's nice. All right, so let's move on to the third one. Okay, this one, on a deeper smell, you definitely get the smell on it. You get some stone fruit. You get some alcoholic. I'm actually pretty sure this is going to be a 7 Stills. This has that 7 Stills smell. 7 Stills, for some reason, has pretty distinctive aroma on their beers for me. So I'm going to note that just in case I'm right. Speaking of which, join us next week. And next week on, I believe, our Sunday show, my wife and Beer Snob Esquire will be blind taste testing some Hazy IPAs that we just picked up in an effort to prove that they can both pick out what brewery makes them. I am not participating in the actual drinking. Well, I mean, I'm sure I will be drinking, but I'm not going to participate in the actual blind tasting. So that could be fun. I'm going to put them to the test because they said they can tell what brewery made a beer. So we're going to see. The smell on this is very, very, very light. Like, it's almost too light, to be honest. All right, so let's talk about ratings here. I'm going to go with a 10 on this one. I think it's the strongest smell. I love the stone fruit on it. I think it's really nice. I'm going to go with a 9 over here on this one because I like the citrusy smell. I'm going to go 8 here on this one. I'm actually going to go a 6 on here, so this one's kind of getting killed a little bit on this just because it is the worst of these smells. So 10, oh, actually, no, hold on. We're going 10, 9, 8, 7. So it's going to go 10, 9, 8, 7. The 7 smells fine. It's just a little light for me. So we're going 10, 9, 8, 7. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7 on those. All right, so next up we're going to drink. So let's talk about drink. When you drink these and you rate them, you have two things you're rating. You're rating taste and you're rating aftertaste. The taste, from our scoring perspective, is that initial burst of flavor that hits your mouth on the first bit of flavor, of hit. The aftertaste is the stuff that sort of lingers and hangs out in your mouth. Sometimes you can have a very, very unpleasant aftertaste or a good pleasant aftertaste. It really very depends. Same thing with basic taste, but they do tend to be different. It's more prominent, I think, in a lot of stouts or a lot of barrel-aged stuff on how they sort of put that in. It does exist in hazies, though, as well. And then drinkability is kind of an overall thing. It tends to match taste pretty well. But by the same note, you tend to go up or down a bit from taste just based on, hey, I like this. I like the way it looks in my glass. I would get another one. Like, the higher the drinkability score, the more likely I am to think, that is the beer I'm getting a second of at the brewery. So, I will start with the one on the left, obviously, which I said was the most citrusy looking. Had a very good citrusy smell, so. It's good. It's not particularly citrusy. You don't get a lot of orange or lemon or grapefruit necessarily specifically. What you get is a really, really good flavor, though. It's just hard to quantify it with your typical terms, which are usually some sort of fruit or like a pine or a... If you're drinking beer, you know what I'm talking about. But you can't quite quantify. The aftertaste is good. The aftertaste is really good, actually. This is a super good beer. I'm not sure what I would classify the flavoring as, though. That's kind of the weird thing. It's just a good hazy flavor without going too far into the orange juice method or too far into the grapefruit or even a stone fruit. Like, it's not pushing those, but they're definitely there and the flavors do exist. So I'm going to give this thing... It's pretty good. I definitely would drink it. I'm going to give it a 26 on taste out of 30, and I'm going to give it an 18 out of 20 on aftertaste. For drinkability, I'm going to move it up to actually a 27, which I think I think it's really good. So that's going to give this particular beer a total score of 10, 19, 45, 53, 63, 70, 90. That's going to be a 90. We have not done beer rating in a while here on the Beer Explaining Show, guys. All right, so it's good. It's very good. I would order the shit out of this at a brewery. That's the bottom line. That's really what we care about, right? Would you order a second of this? And absolutely, if I was at a brewery and I got this, I would be very happy to get a second one. All right, so we're going to move to number 2, which was the best smelling one, but the worst appearing one to me. It's kind of low key. Yeah, nothing's jumping out at me on the flavor at all. It's fine. It's good. It's kind of average, though, the flavor on this. Do you know which number you poured?
For me,
Yeah, don't tell me what the beer is, but do you know which one you poured for yourself?
the third one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go. It's fine. I'm gonna go 22 though on taste. Honestly, it's fine. It's just nothing's jumping out. Like when I taste like an IPA, especially a hazy, I want sort of I want something to hop out. Like I want my taste buds just be hit. Like people say you drink IPAs and they wreck your taste buds. They're right. Mostly, the hops are just supposed to come out and just crush the shit out of you. And this isn't quite doing that for me. So let's talk about the aftertaste here. I think the aftertaste is fine. The aftertaste is fine. The aftertaste is probably like a 17. Drinkability's, it's pretty drinkable. It's probably, there's nothing about the beer that knocks it down from taste when you're looking at the drinkability. So I'm going to bump it a smidge on that, and we're going to give it like a 24 on drinkability. So it's pretty good. I'm a generous rater. If you've seen my Google reviews, you know that. 18, 40, 57, 61, 81 on this one. 81. All right, so this beer is definitely losing to beer number 1. So that's how it is, though. All right. Beer number 3, moving on to our darker orange beers. Both beers have really nice head on them, by the way. It's nice. They both held on really nicely. They've been sitting for a minute or 2 years. That's really nice. So, real women enjoy craft beer. Shout out to who made this? We don't know.
Am I supposed to answer you?
You might know.
Which number is it?
It's just no. Who made the real women enjoy craft beer glass?
There is a magnet right there that'll tell you. I can't remember. Next to the Iron Man. On the side.
Yeah, I can't read that one. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh. All right, whatever. Let's try it. Okay, the flavor is definitely more distinct than the last beer. It's definitely more distinct, which I appreciate more than the last beer. It's also a little medicine-y to me.
It's what?
Like a little medicine-y.
Yeah.
Producer A also agrees this one's a little medicine. This is the one they poured for themselves as well because they don't want me to drink 4 double IPA straight to my face in an hour.
I think it's a little older than we think.
Which is nice. It might be a little older, which means it probably is the Seven Stills beer. It is good though. I think it's pretty good. I think it's better than number 2. I definitely think it's better than number 2. But it's very different. These are not similar beers. Like number 1 and number 2 are fairly similar beers, and I could compare them pretty equally. This is an IPA and it's hazy, but it's just very different than the other two in its profile and its hop choices. I'm going to give it. I'm not going to rate it that much higher than the other. I'm going to give it a 23 on taste. Aftertaste is actually probably worse though, so I'm gonna go 16. Drinkability is probably about the same though, so we're gonna go 24 on that one as well. Like I said, I'm a generous rater. 9, 18, 17, 40, 56, 68, no. 9, 17, 20, 40, 46, 56, 60, 80. Yeah, that's right. 80. Okay, well, that's fine. That's reasonable. I think they're both very close. All right, last beer going. So number 1 is way ahead here. This beer has to straight kill it to win. So maybe it will. Let's find out. There's still no smell, which feels weird to me, especially since your taste is so tied to your smell. It's like the aroma hops just are gone, or it's older. It's possible, but if only one of these beers should be even possibly be old though. I think it's good. The flavors coming through, there's definitely some, I think it's stone fruit. I would call this one stone fruit. It reminds me of the first one without the third one without the mediciness though. It's good. It's not as good as the first one. The first one's definitely going to win here. God, I'm just not sure what to say about this beer. It's like there's hop flavor there, but it's not something I'm familiar with. I'm expecting some sort of citrus or stone fruit or even a lime or like a mango, which I think is technically a stone fruit. Is mango a stone fruit?
Yeah.
All right, just checking. I'm going to rate this. I think it is. I like it better than the previous two, so I have to rate this above them. So I'm just going to go 1 point above and go to 24. The aftertaste, I'm going to go 17. Drinkability is about the same as its flavor, 24. I gave all 3 of these the exact same drinkability score for those of you who are following along in the eventual YouTube video that I posted this. So 9, 16, 40. It's an 81. So we have an 81 here as well. All right. So we have a 90, 81, 80, 81. All right. So I know what breweries they are, and I'm going to guess which breweries they are just based on my own personal biases. Okay. I'm going to pick Humble Sea for number 1 for a couple reasons. Number 1, it looks like orange juice. And typically their foggy IPAs simply look like orange juice. I picked number 3 for Seven Stills mostly because the fragrant on it reminds me of a Seven Still sort of fragrance that I've had in a couple of their other beers. That leaves 2 more breweries, I believe a Fieldwork and a local. So I'm going to guess that beer number 2 is the Fieldwork. I'm guessing this because, frankly, it looks like a Fieldwork beer. It is the right color as 97% of their hazy IPAs. So I'm going to guess Fieldwork. Producer A is staring at me like I'm insane. So I could be really off. These are just guesses. I'm going to go with local on the last one. All right, so final ratings. 90, 81, 80, 81. All right, that's my ratings. Let's find out what we drank. I'm going to go get it because they don't want to be on camera. That's next week.
The handle, the last beer is what's closest to the handle.
Handle. No, handle.
Yes.
So exactly like they are over there. Well, I mean, I was wrong mostly.
Yeah. That's why I was looking at you.
Come
You're
on.
all wrong, right?
No, I got the Humble C right.
Oh, okay.
Come on, this looks like a Fieldwork beer.
It does not look like a double, though.
All right, check it out. That's what we got. Beer number 1, our winner. Hey, dog. Dog, I'm streaming here. Jeez. I know that I'm the one watching my stream, but I'm streaming. Jeez. Respect for some professional courtesy. You're not even on the stream. All right. Number 1, Socks and Sandals. Their double version. This is the Double Galaxy Socks and Sandals DDH Foggy Double IPA. This was picked up literally yesterday. And this was canned, wow. Wow, I'm actually surprised with this. This was actually canned, I believe that says August 90th, 2022. Not a thing. It's probably a 30. So it's actually about a month and a half old.
I'm kind of surprised for that.
Local, this tied for second on our thing.
This one's a little different.
This is Local's Triple Dry Hopped Mosaic Galaxy Citra. This bad boy was canned. Oh, this is older. That's a really, really good showing for beer canned this long ago. This beer was canned on May 3rd. It's a good showing for a May 3rd beer. All right, Fieldwork. Nug Champa. This one was canned even longer ago. We went to the fridge, guys.
It was old.
April 13th, 2022. So that makes a little bit of sense. But they're still pretty good. And then the last one ended up being the Seven Stills. Actually, a Seven Stills Moxa collab. Respect. Just because we love both those breweries. No date on this, though, so less respect there. I did pick this up not that long ago, though, so it's probably reasonably new. So there you have it, folks. That is my blind tasting show. Hopefully everyone who watches this in the future will enjoy it. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to follow us on Twitch. It's at Beersplaining. On YouTube, also at Beersplaining. Let's see here. Instagram, I believe it's also at Beersplaining.
You could literally say all the platforms that-
Also, we own beersplaining.com. So I think I just own all the Beersplainings. Which surprises me because no one took the name before, and I thought the name was moderately clever. But hey, what are you going to do? All right, so final recap. Blind double hazy IPA taste test. Number 1, Humble C. And basically the rest were all tied. That's just the reality. The Humble C was the best of them. It was also the freshest. I'm not entirely sure that accounts for the 9-point difference between it and second, though, to be honest with you. They simply make good double IPA. They make good hazy IPAs. It's their specialty. If you come to California, Northern California, especially the coast, obviously, Humble C should be on your list of spots to go to. If you're going to go to Santa Cruz or San Francisco, Pacifica area, Humble C as a stop is worth it. We were there yesterday at their Pacifica spot, which has a full kitchen. We also ate there, and we picked up some swag and some to-goes. If you're into to-goes, and you like hoppy beers, let's just say I walked out of there with 8 4-packs. If you've seen California beer prices these days, you know that every beer is about $6 fucking. So my bill was not cheap. I did pick up a cool shirt though, so that was pretty cool, which I left in the car. You know, what are you gonna do? So that's pretty cool. So that's Humble C. Let's see. Talk about local. Local's located in San Francisco in the Soma district. Super cool spot. The owner is super nice. Every time we go there, which is actually probably the brewery we go to the most often. I've said that before on the channel. I think it's probably the brewery we visit the most often that it's not in biking distance from my house. Right? Which really is only Morgan territory and Bay Boys. So, what are you going to do? Fieldwork has got a bunch of locations. Their newest one, like I said, was San Leandro. It's a good spot. Beautiful outdoor beer garden. A bunch of other spots. San Mateo, Sacramento, Berkeley's their home spot. I don't know. They have like 9 spots. It's cool. Seven Stills Brewery and Distillery. I will tell you that their distillery is great. We tried some of their... I bought some last time we were there. When I bought this, I also bought a young brandy, which isn't a thing I knew existed. But it was brandy that had not been aged yet, I guess, in casks. So it was still a clear brandy, which was really, really interesting because brandy is typically a brown, which I think the color comes from the aging possibly. It was pretty cool, though. It was pretty good. We did try it out with the group at our poker night, and everyone seemed to like it. So that's my recommendations. 7 Stills, Fieldwork, Local, and Humble Sea. We love all of these breweries, and we go to each of them several times a year. Probably at least twice a year for each of them, I would think. Is that about right? How many times do we go to most of these? We go to 7 Stills about twice. We end up at Fieldwork about 4 times. That's just because they have a bunch of locations where we happen to be. Local, we probably hit up 3 or 4 times, maybe more. Like 6 times a year. Basically, Local's our spot. If we go to a play in San Francisco on a Sunday, after the play, we like matinees, so the play's over about 4. Local's near enough that we can go there. Parking's available, get a beer, get a dope-ass pretzel, some really, really good beer cheese, and then head home. And then Humble Sea, basically anytime we're in the Santa Cruz, Capitola area, we hit it. We did make a special trip out there to Pacifica just to get these for next week's tasting mostly. So should be fun. So join us next week. Our plan is to be live on, let me double check and make sure it is on Sunday. All right, let's see here. Next weekend, we are going to, well, that's too many weekends. Yeah, Sunday, the 16th. We will be going to, we will be doing a live show on Sunday, approximately 1 p.m., where we have producer A and Beer Snob Escar try to guess the brewery on some very hazy IPAs. So join us for that, and I hope you all have a great day. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.